So I will start with the urinary tract infection, and we all know that the urinary tract infection in the uncomplicated stage is one of the most common nephrological cases seen by the primary care physician. When we are getting the UTI, usually we are getting all this complicated UTI. So, but I am going to take this in. So urinary tract infection, the 5 parts we are going to discuss today: pyuria, asymptomatic bacteria, and acute cystitis, acute pyelonephritis, and recurrent UTI. The first 3 will be taken by me, and acute pyelonephritis and recurrent UTI will be taken by Dr. Amit Lambate. So I will start with the first case. So this 25-year-old male, history of sore throat was there 4 to 6 weeks prior to developing a puffiness of face and edema. And he also developed a hypertension and oliguria. His urine report was showing albumin of 2+, RBC of 60 to 80 per high power field, and pus cells was 20 to 30. So the question comes in our mind whether to start with antibiotic because pus cells was there 20 to 30. The next case is the 35-year-old male, frequent stone former, complaining of vague abdominal pain, and X-ray KUB was showing right astragon calculus and left ureteric stone. Patient was afebrile, and urine report was showing albumin of trace, pus cells 60 to 80, and RBC 20 to 30 per high power field. Whether to start and which antibiotic would you choose? The next case is 50 years old male, female, history of diabetes and hypertension, complaining of dysuria, no fever, urine routine showing pus cells 8 to 10, but no bacteria. Urine culture, no growth. She has received ciprofloxacin for 3 days. She was symptomatically better. And after 1 month, urine was still showing the pus cells of 10 to 12. So all these 3 cases, the common things was pus cells was there, RBC was there, but the culture was not showing anything. So these are all cases of asymptomatic bacteria. So I will define bacteria is present and grown in the urine culture with or without symptoms. If the symptoms is there, that means the symptomatic bacteria, which is urinary tract infection, either acute cystitis or acute pyelonephritis. If the bacteria is not having any symptoms, it is called asymptomatic bacteria, which is common in elderly population, diabetic, and pregnant female. When you have got a pus cells in the urine, it may be with bacteria or without bacteria. If this is with bacteria, that means a urinary tract infection is there. If you have got abacterial pyuria, that means pus cells is there, but the culture has not grown anything. It may be either organism, which is atypical, not a conventional one, or patient may be having inflammation. So what has happened? So pyuria with bacteria is when can you suspect? When you are seeing a urine routine reports and urine routine is showing a positive on the, if the urine routine is showing a pus cells and the dipstick test is positive for leukocyte esterase or nitrite. Leukocyte esterase, the sensitivity is almost 80%. The specificity is less. Sensitivity and specificity is quite good as compared to nitrite. If both are positive, almost 80 to 90% of the urine may be having a bacteria also. So the commonest cause of pyuria is infection. It may be because of the partially treated UTI or recently treated UTI, or sometimes if you are not growing the bacteria in the culture, it may be because of atypical or fastigious organism like mycoplasma or ureaplasma or chlamydia, or slow growing organism like Mycobacterium tuberculosis. You may have got pyuria without culture positive urine because of sexually transmitted infection, which may cause urethritis, or in older female because of the decreased estrogen effect on the vulva, vagina, and bladder, which can increase the degree of inflammation, making the urine having some pus cells. So pus cells related to either chlamydia, Neisseria, mycoplasma, ureaplasma, or you may have appendicitis causing the pyuria, or genitourinary tuberculosis, fungal infection, and parasitic disease also can cause pyuria without bacteria. Or the pyuria without bacteria may be because of the instrumentation, if the patient has got recently catheterized, or vaginitis, cervicitis, or patient has got a stone which is not causing any problem, or polycystic kidney disease where multiple cysts are there in the kidney, or patient has taken some NSAID or interstitial nephritis is there because of the drugs. Interstitial nephritis may be because of the antibiotic patient may have taken, or NSAID drugs like ibuprofen or proton pump inhibitor, or a steroid or cyclophosphamide. All these can cause interstitial nephritis, which patient may manifest with the pyuria without having bacteria in the urine culture. One point to be noted here is the sterile pyuria with the visible hematuria. That means a frank hematuria is there, and the newer onset storage symptoms is there, bladder storage problem like increased frequency, urgency, and nocturia with the bladder pain. These are all red flag sign where we need to refer the case to uro-oncologist or urologist for ruling out bladder cancer. So how will you manage this patient with pyuria? History is most important, because if the history of, like in our cases, in first case, history of sore throat was there, which is very important, followed by edema, hypertension, oliguria. History is very important before treating the patient of pyuria or whether to investigate further or not. Pyuria with the symptoms of UTI, we have to start with the empirical antibiotic and recheck for the resolution. If a patient has got hematuria and pyuria with proteinuria, the chances of glomerulonephritis is there. And in some case, if you are also having other features of frank hematuria or bladder symptoms, you have to rule out genitourinary malignancy. So in the first case, patient was having sore throat, followed by puffiness of face, edema, hypertension, and oliguria. And patient was also having albuminuria, microscopic hematuria, and pyuria. These are classical symptoms and signs of nephritic syndrome. And these patients should not be treated with antibiotic. And this patient, we need to further investigate to rule out either a post-infectious glomerulonephritis or IgA nephropathy. In the second case, patient was having a frequent stone history where the X-ray was showing a Staghorn calculus and a ureteric stone, which are the cause of pyuria. And here the culture has not grown anything, so there is no point giving an antibiotic. These patients need to be referred to urologist for early bilateral disease stenting, because both the side kidney are having hydronephrosis. So these patients should not be treated with antibiotic. The third case was female with diabetes, with dysuria, no bacteria, no growth in the urine, only the pus cells was there. Already the patient has received the ciprofloxacin. In such patient, we should not treat, because this is an asymptomatic bacteria. Patient in 60 to 70% of the diabetic female can have pyuria without having any active infection. So these patients should not be treated with the antibiotic. Now come to the second part of the talk. Case 4, 26-year-old female, 16 weeks of amenorrhea, no symptoms, on routine antenatal checkup. Urine was showing a pus cells of 20 to 30, and urine culture has grown 10 to power 5 colony forming unit of E. coli. What will you do next? In another case, 55-year-old female, known type 2 diabetes, no symptoms, abnormal urine report since 2 years, urine culture always showing 10 to power 5 E. coli. Multiple course of antibiotic was given in the past. There was no past history of UTI before 2 years, and there is no history of a stone disease on imaging, and there is no post-wide residue on ultrasonography. So this patient also, we have to understand what has to be done for next. Case 6 is a 60-year-old female, type 2 diabetes, admitted with fracture femur for orthopedic surgery, and pre-operative evaluation was showing a pyuria with E. coli of 10 to power 5, no symptoms, no fever, no dysuria. Again, the same question, what will you do next? So I will come with this asymptomatic bacteria. All three was having urine culture positive with the pus cells in the urine. Three different type of patient. One is pregnant lady, second one is the diabetic elderly female, and third one is the diabetic patient going for the orthopedic surgery. So the asymptomatic bacteria is in female diagnosed with 2 consecutive voided specimens showing a 10 to power 5 colony forming unit with the same species. Then only we have to diagnose asymptomatic bacteria. In male, Single clean catch urine sample with more than 10 to the power 5 colony forming unit, single species is good enough to diagnose the asymptomatic bacteria. In catheterized patient, if the patient is, if we are collecting the catheterized sample, then 10 to the power 2 colony forming unit per ml is good enough to diagnose in both male and female. So in female asymptomatic patient, 2 consecutive divided specimen with the same species, same bacterial species to diagnose the asymptomatic bacteria. If you see here, the prevalence of this asymptomatic bacteria, which is very common in pregnant female, almost less than 2 to 10% of the female are getting asymptomatic bacteria. In postmenopausal female also it is common. In diabetic patient, in the elderly person in the community care home, or where the female is having almost 10 to 16% incidence of asymptomatic bacteria. If the patient is on indwelling catheter, they are also in early, like within a week, if you are doing a urine culture, you can get a bacteria, which is almost 10 to 20% of the patient who has got short-term indwelling catheter. You can get in the long-term catheter patient, you are 100% sure that 100% cases are going to get the urine culture positive. So patient who has got like doing a CSIC, they are also having increased incidence of a prevalence of urine culture positive. Urine culture is positive with the pyuria. In one of the study in Italy, randomized control study done in 2005 to 2009, 673 asymptomatic bacteria, young female was 312 was not treated with the antibiotic and 369 treated with the antibiotic. And you can see the graph, the group which is treated with the antibiotic followed up till 12 months, and you can see there is an increased symptomatic UTI in the treated group as compared to untreated group. Untreated group has not developed progress to UTI, complicated UTI or symptomatic UTI. So in one way, you can say that if you are treating unnecessarily asymptomatic bacteria, then the protection against the symptomatic UTI will be lost and patient will have increased tendency to develop the symptomatic UTI. But one thing also is very important. If you have got a culture sensitivity report, and if the asymptomatic bacteria patient developed a symptomatic UTI, then that culture sensitivity report, based on that report, you can start the treatment. So treatment does not reduce the incidence of symptomatic UTI as shown in the study. In many other studies also, it has shown that it is not decreasing the incidence of symptomatic UTI by treating this patient, or there is no reduction in the recurrence of asymptomatic bacteria. And if you are treating such patient, there is no any role of increased mortality or increased progress of the chronic kidney disease. So such patients should not be treated, because we know that this patient will not have faster progress of the chronic kidney disease, and there is no increase in the mortality. But in pregnant female, we have to be very careful, we have to be very aggressive, because all the pregnant female asymptomatic bacteria is very common early in the pregnancy, and you should screen the patient for this. If patient has got pyuria without having any symptoms, the patient should be going for urine culture in the beginning. If the patient is coming late also, we have to do this at 12 to 16 weeks of pregnancy. We have to re-screen for patient who has got a past history of UTI, of any pregnant female who has got a presence of urinary tract anomaly or diabetes or sickle cell disease, or past history of preterm labor, they should be having a re-screening also. We all know that asymptomatic bacteria in pregnancy, if not treated, it will increase the fetal risk, it will increase the preterm birth, it will decrease the growth of the baby. That means the baby will have low birth weight delivery, and you can have an increased mortality of the baby. In the female, in the mother, 30 to 40% of the pregnant mother can develop a symptomatic UTI if you are not treating, and can develop complicated pyelonephritis also. So this risk is going to be reduced by 70 to 80% if you are eradicating or treating this asymptomatic bacteria. So asymptomatic bacteria, risk of bacteria when you have to screen, if a patient has got history of prior UTI, if the patient has got pre-existing diabetes mellitus, or multipara, if a patient is coming from low socioeconomic status, because the prevalence of asymptomatic bacteria is more common in lower socioeconomic group. In India, the incidence is almost 7 to 17% as compared to USA, where the prevalence is 2 to 7%. So the most common organ is 70% cases E. coli, in 10% group B streptococcus, and this group B streptococcus, the treatment is either you can give a single dose or short course of antibiotic with fosfomycin. In a meta-analysis of almost 30 studies comparing the single dose treatment with the 4 to 7 days treatment, it has been found that there is a lower rates of bacterial clearance with the single dose regime, but many other studies has found that the single course of antibiotic is equally effective in eradicating the bacteria. And you can use the single dose fosfomycin 3 gram sachet for one single dose. Other antibiotic which can be used is nitrofurantoin, amoxicillin, clavulanic acid, cephalexin, or fosfomycin, or sulfamethoxazole. 30% of the patient who is treated, 30% fail to clear the asymptomatic bacteria, and we have to have a follow-up culture which should be obtained at least 1 week after the completion of therapy in pregnant female. Repeat urine culture monthly until the completion of the pregnancy, because the risk of persistent or recurrent bacteria is high in pregnant female. If you are having a persistent bacteria and positive follow-up culture, we have to give a longer course of the same antibiotic, or you can use the standard regime for different antibiotic. And you can use a suppressive therapy in the form of nitrofurantoin 50 to 100 milligram HS, even after 2 or more course of antibiotic therapy. So there are certain asymptomatic bacteria patient where the role of antibiotic therapy is not there. These are the categories or group of patients like premenopausal non-pregnant female. If they are having a pyuria and bacteria without having any symptoms, you don't have to treat. Like a diabetic female, like patient going for orthopedic surgery, like in our case, where the patient has got fracture and they are going for the surgery and culture was positive, but patient was not having any fever, loin pain, or dysuria, then we should not treat this patient with the IV antibiotic. If the patient is staying in a community home where the elderly population are staying and they are getting asymptomatic bacteria, you don't have to treat. The patient with a spinal cord injury or patient with long-standing indwelling catheter, you should not treat. In certain category of patient, like a pregnant female or recently done kidney transplant patient, if a patient is going for major urological procedure, then such patient need a treatment for asymptomatic bacteria. Now come to case 4. This female was pregnant female at 16 weeks pregnancy week. So she has to be treated with the antibiotic, and we have to re-screen and do the follow-up culture also to see that whether the bacteria is eradicated or not, to have lesser perinatal mortality, to have good growth of the fetus. So all these are important in that pregnant female. In this patient where the diabetes is there, but the patient was having asymptomatic bacteria, so here the treatment is not required. In this patient where patient is going for orthopedic surgery, no treatment is required. Now come to the last part of the talk. This female, 28-year-old female, recently married, no core morbidities like diabetes or blood pressure. She was developed a dysuria urgency frequency since last 3 days, no fever, flank pain or hematuria. Urine was showing pus cells of 25 to 30 with the positive leukocyte esterase and nitrite, and RBC was having 5 to 10 in the urine. Urine culture was showing E. coli of 10 to power 5. So these are simple cases of honeymoon cystitis or acute uncomplicated cystitis, which manifest in the form of increased frequency, urgency, and painful micturition. There may not be fever in such patient, and flank pain, or if the patient has got flank pain, the chances of upper urinary tract infection or pyelonephritis is more. So acute cystitis mostly have got irritative symptoms like urgency, frequency, dysuria, or stranguria, 30% of the patient has got hematuria, and more than 90% of the patient is having E. coli in the urine culture. 20 to 30% of the sexually active female can have this, so we have to change the habits. And typical case in female, there is no investigation required. We have to treat with the nitrofurantoin 100 milligram twice a day, or quinolones, or trimethoprim sulfamethoxazole, or fosfomycin. These are the commonly used drugs. So in summary, suspect UTI if pyuria with urinary dipsticks showing a positive leukocyte esterase and or nitrate. Asymptomatic bacteria is common in pregnancy, premenopausal, non-pregnant female, diabetic female, older person staying in the community home, or patient with a spinal cord injury, or long-standing indwelling catheter patient, or immunocompromised transplant patient. All these patients can have asymptomatic bacteria, and in pregnancy, transplant, and certain cases where the major urological procedure are going to happen, in 3 categories, we have to treat this asymptomatic bacteria. All pregnant female for asymptomatic bacteria, at least you should screen once in early pregnancy to rule out, because we know that this will increase the perinatal mortality of the fetus and increase the risk of progressing to acute pyelonephritis or complicated UTI. Untreated bacteria has been associated with increased risk of preterm birth also. So we have to take care of this. Thank you.